Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is Reservations, and I'm Rain Whalen.
And I'm he who must not be named.
That's a good one.
Nice.
You know, can I say I think that's one of my favorite details of the movies where, for the first two movies with Chris Columbus, they say the whole thing. He who must not be named, right?
Yeah.
And then you don't even hear about him in Prisoner of Azkaban, which is the best one. And then when you get to Goblet of Fire, everyone just says, like, you know who. Like,
Right. Yeah.
no, just fucking... That's why I'm glad that, swinging Dick Harry is like Voldemort. Like, fuck that shit. Let's call him by his goddamn name. Fucking coward. Dude, I was talking to someone recently about Harry Potter, and it was one of my coworkers. She's never seen any of them, and I was like, "Well, you gotta watch them." She's like, "No, I'm not really into that." I'm like, "No, you have to though. Like, they're so good."
Yeah.
And she was like, "But they seem like they're for kids." I'm like, "No. Maybe like 5% the first one, but literally as soon as you get in the Chamber of Secrets, fuck no."
Yeah.
It gets so dark so quickly. These 12-year-olds go through hell. But I was like, no. I was like, you at least need to see up until Prisoner of Azkaban. Prisoner of Azkaban is the best one, full stop. That's it. And she was just like, no. And another one of my coworkers is like, well, Goblet of Fire is really good. I'm like, Goblet of Fire is fine. Prisoner of Azkaban is the best one. Yeah, if you see me on the streets, I will say that to your face. And I even had that thought when I saw it first, before I even had this appreciation especially for Alfonso Cuarón. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I was like, man, there's something different about this movie, and I fuck with it so hard,
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you what it is though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree that the third, it's also the best book. I enjoy Prisoner of Azkaban more than I enjoy the other ones. I mean, listen, I'll listen to Goblet of Fire. That's cool. Sorry, read, whatever, however you do it. And
I count that as reading.
I can't. It's so hard to do Order of the Phoenix because he's such a bitch in Order of the Phoenix.
What, Harry?
Yeah, he's so whiny. I can't handle it, And but the other, I mean, I also really liked Half-Blood Prince was so good, and
well, dude,
and of course Deathly Hallows.
Prince,
I mean, the finale
yeah.
is so good, but
and I think what it is also She Who Will Not Be Named.
Yeah,
because I will not fucking, to quote Youngblood, it's the same. She's a twat. But I would say by Prisoner of Azkaban, she had become a better writer. And of course, especially with the later books as well, she definitely become a significantly better writer. But Half-Blood Prince is the best. And even though I love the Harry Potter movies, I will say they did not handle that reveal very well at all.
Yeah, I don't think
did
so,
not. It did not have the emotional weight. Like they were like,
it's almost like they forgot and they're like, oh shit, we got to write this.
Fuck, that's right.
Fuck, yeah. We got to tell him,
Yeah, like no offense to David Yates, who took over directing. I think with Order of the Phoenix and all the way to the third Fantastic Beasts movie. No offense to David Yates. Yeah, David's a good director, but yeah, I think that's the problem with adapting those books, is that she filled it with so much good lore and information that it's hard to adapt it. I mean, that's why Chris Columbus couldn't do it after 2 movies.
Yeah.
Because he tried. He was like, I tried to fill so much of the information. I'll say that's what excites me only about 2% for the show.
Mhm.
is that they'll get to actually like stretch out the lore
Yeah.
over one season.
Yeah, they'll probably add everything they left out, like Peeves. You know, Peeves wasn't in the
Yeah,
movies, and so like
dude,
that's
fucking justice for Peeves, man. And here's what's crazy: no one, unless you have read the books, you don't know who Peeves is.
yeah.
And then unless you've played Hogwarts Legacy, you for sure have no fucking idea who Peeves is. But yeah, it's crazy that we're starting this episode talking about Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter.
But that's fine, man.
I
So
also want to
Jeremy,
mention, because I have to mention that, and I'm very upset about this, by the way,
okay,
that we have to stop using copyrighted music on the audio.
yeah,
It's what I
yeah,
feel like made um, the show so fun to listen to, is because you get to
mm-hmm.
hear the music that goes along with the movie that you just watched, and um,
Yeah,
so
and like thankfully I was able to contest a lot of that,
yeah.
And tell Spotify, I'm not going to mince words here. It's fucking Spotify. Um that this is part of a movie reviewing podcast. Music plays a role in that. And thankfully they haven't pulled every episode. It's only the ones that and it pisses me off. They haven't been notifying me. They were notifying me.
Mhm.
But I just happened to check the email that I'd made for the podcast one day, and they're like, "Hey, if you don't contest these episodes," and I'm like, "You sent me this a week ago," and I'm
Yeah.
just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Because they were notifying me when I logged in to post the new episode. They were like,
Mhm.
"Hey, you might want to check some of these out,"
Yeah.
and I was able to contest virtually everything.
Sure.
But so for our audio listeners, if you are missing some episodes, those will be back up soon. But yeah, it fucking sucks, dude.
It
Because
does suck. I mean, was any of those at any time the No Country for Old Men episode?
I don't think so. I
Because
think.
we used audio from the movie for that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I feel like maybe that might be the future of this. Is maybe we have to find just audio um, from the movie to put like a quote or something, because sometimes I'll just go back and I'll listen to because I love that monologue so much that I'll just go and I'll listen to it, Um
Do you remember what season that was?
no.
Hang on, I think I remember. I think it may have been season 5.
I don't keep track because they don't matter. So just they're just a way for us to have a little fun with how we structure the show. But other than that, to me, it's just like we've just been doing this just for 6.5 years, just straight.
Yeah, I think it was season 5. Hang on. Yes, it was season 5. Now the question is, I don't remember what we called that episode, but hang on. Actually, big brain energy right here, because thankfully I when I post that we have a new episode out, well, I hope no one heard that. I don't know what the fuck that was. Okay, it was after we did our Sunset Boulevard episode. So
Oh, I remember what we called it. It was "Okay, I'll Be a Part of This World." That's what we called it. I mean, it doesn't matter. We don't have to. This is terrible to listen to. You search
it's
it.
okay. No, it's still there.
Okay,
It is still there.
so
Yeah.
like audio from the movies might be the future of this. I don't know. I'm gonna miss doing the music because I enjoyed because there are times when, like, especially for me, a lot of my musical discoveries are from movies, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I have a strong connection to songs with specific movies, right? Like, um, the entire soundtrack to Zodiac, if any of it, like,
Yeah.
if I hear any of those songs be played anywhere, I immediately think Zodiac because that's the association I have with it, right? Because a lot of times that's the first time I heard the song, and so it's just it's a shame that
Yeah.
yeah, that we have to quit doing that.
We
But I mean, well, it's fine. Hopefully, people will still
Yeah,
listen
yeah,
to the show. If not, it's fine. I mean, we're still going to do it anyway, regardless. But you know, if that was something you enjoyed about the show, you can be upset with us.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, if there was some episodes that you were really looking forward to listening to, and they're gone, uh, give us a little bit of time. They should hopefully be back up because thankfully, what I can tell at least, it looks like most of the episodes they've taken down. We also posted videos of them as well, so I can just
okay,
rip the audio from that.
cool.
Thankfully, um, that way we still have some sort of record of the episode. If they would have done an episode from like season 1, it's gone.
Forget it.
It's gone. It's gone
Yes.
forever.
Damn it.
Yeah. If I was a better podcaster, I probably would have had saved backups of
Sure.
everything we've done for the last,
Yeah.
6 fucking years. But that's why we need an intern to do that.
We do need an intern.
Yeah. But that being said, so buddy, why is this episode coming out a week late?
That's a great question. Why? It was super busy. So
Well, and you had teeth pulled.
oh, I did. That's why. Not pulled. I had a root canal on one tooth, and then I had a cavity that they just dug out in the tooth right next to it and in the back. And yeah, dude, my whole mouth just hurt so bad on that Monday, so I couldn't do it, and then I just didn't have time to watch the movie anyway. We're so busy. We've been really busy lately. I mean, go figure. Like I have nothing to do all day, but on the weekends we're super busy.
I mean, it happens.
It happens.
I mean,
So,
like I was telling you off mic, this week begins my 4 Saturdays in a row, dude. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, and I like we went camping for a night this weekend so we can visit the in-laws, and then next weekend it's the Halloween camping trip, and so we go and we'll be there from Thursday to Sunday, I think. And yeah, so for next week I'm gonna have to watch these movies like Wednesday,
Way in
Thursday.
advance.
But it's like, what else do I have to do? You know what I mean? Dishes, laundry, cleaning, and then watch movies. That's what I do most of the day. So.
Yeah, it sounds like the dream. Now we need to get you the Switch so you can sit there and just play Mario all day.
I'll just play Smash Bros all day?
Then you can become Jake Peralta and be like, Wario cheats. I saw your Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and that triggered that I'm watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Nice.
The shit's so good, dude.
Yeah.
I came down with a big Diane Weist infection and just the dead.
Classic.
Like yeast. Dude, so good. The show's so good. R.I.P. to Andre Berger. He will forever be missed.
Absolutely.
But that's not what we're talking about today.
No.
So, if you tuned in last week, which some of you did, according to the analytics on the YouTube, 9 whole people.
Wow.
Thanks for that. I mean, that's almost double than Fantastic Mr. Fox. And I look, I know you don't like Wes Anderson, and I know you do like Fantastic Mr. Fox, but I really thought that one was going to pop off.
Sure.
It did not.
No.
This week we were talking about the absurdist comedy, drama, romance from Paul Thomas Anderson, Punch Drunk Love. Now, again, if you've forgotten what I've been doing this whole season, I've been picking movies that are on my Criterion shelf that I have not seen. Yes, I've broken that rule twice already, but it's fine. But this one I have never seen, and it was one that I kind of mentioned in my tease that always seems sort of aloof to me because I'm pretty sure we've mentioned it on the show, especially when we had my mom on when we did Uncut Gems. My mom's a huge Adam Sandler fan. She loves Adam Sandler. So growing up, I grew up with Adam Sandler. But I distinctly remember her telling me she hated this movie. And then as I got older and, had an appreciation for film, I was always kind of coming back to this movie. And I mentioned it also in the tease that this movie is very, very divisive amongst people, which is really interesting.
Mhm.
But I can also see why now, having finally seen the movie. Do you remember what you first thought when you saw the movie?
Yeah, so I watched it for the first time last year. I for Christmas, is it in that one? Yeah. For Christmas, I had gotten the Columbia Classics Volume 4 set,
Mm-hmm.
and I still need 5. It's fine. And it had Punch Drunk Love in the set. And I go, oh, that's a good opportunity to, throw that in, whatever, who cares. And because I love Paul Thomas Anderson, I love
Yeah.
Magnolia. We did an episode of Magnolia. Incredible,
Dude,
right?
yeah, shout out to our Magnolia episode. That shit was rad.
Probably my favorite out of all of his films. Of course, There Will Be Blood is a classic. Boogie Nights is amazing. Hard Eight is really good. Not talked about enough, I feel like. It's a good dramatic performance from John C. Reilly. And like Phantom Thread, I really enjoyed too.
Yeah, dude, shout out to our Phantom Thread.
Phantom
Dude,
Thread, yeah.
honestly, shout out to any of our Paul Thomas Anderson episodes. Inherent Vice, Phantom Thread. I'm going to be real. I thought we killed Phantom Thread. I thought we did such a great job.
I completely forgot about Inherent Vice. Yeah, Inherent Vice was fine. I didn't mind that one too much. And then so I was like, then I gotta love it, right? And so I watched it, and then it ended, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I was so apathetic to it that I didn't really have strong feelings either way. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was just something. I enjoyed Adam Sandler's performance. It's such a small thing, but I always love Luis Guzman, and that he's in these Paul Thomas Anderson. I love Luis Guzman. So him being in it was fantastic. Emily Watson is great. But yeah, I didn't know, right? I was sort of like, it was fine, I guess, so I saw it again just a couple days ago. And when it ended, I go, yeah, that was just fine. Like, I don't know what, like, I'm not sure what I'm missing, right? Because, I've done research since then, and I kind of get what I'm missing a little bit. But like, I saw that a lot of people were like, this is Paul Thomas Anderson's like most endearing protagonist. And I didn't know if I agreed with that. I was like, I don't really like him all that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
Barry Egan's not someone that I think of as endearing at all. I think he's pretty volatile. It's not his fault, but I'm not a huge fan of Barry Egan as a character. But it's just bizarre, and I kept wanting to diagnose him with something, but that's not the point. You know what I mean? Like, is he like borderline? Is he suffering from bipolar disorder? Is he like on the spectrum in some way? It's I don't know. Maybe it's just growing up with 7 sisters. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead and hit him with that synopsis, and then we'll talk through it.
Yeah. So Jeremy kind of touched on a little bit of it. But yes, our film follows Adam Sandler, Barry Egan, who is the owner of a novelty plunger company that does okay. That at least that's what we're told, the audience, that he does pretty good. He has 7 sisters, and they have constantly over their childhood belittled him and emotionally abused him and really fucked him up. And he has these fits of rage where he lashes out in anger, but is quick to apologize. So essentially Happy Gilmore. But then one day he meets Lena and becomes immediately almost sort of infatuated with her with the brief little moment they have together. Come to find out, she is a coworker of one of his sisters who's actually been trying to set them up. And Barry is trying to make a good impression. He's really, to use his name as a verb, he's really burying up everything. But it doesn't seem to scare Lena. She actually finds him, I'm going to use the word endearing. She actually finds him very endearing, very cute, which is shocking because you're right, Barry is very volatile. Well, while trying to win over Lena, Barry, suffering a lot from loneliness and self-isolation, calls a sex line just so he can have someone to talk to. But the sex line is trying to extort money from him, which I have a lot of thoughts on, which we'll get to later. And so he's now dealing with essentially a mob of people who work at a gang, at a sex line, trying to extort $750 from him, led by the ever amazing Philip Seymour Hoffman. May he rest in peace. And Barry decides that he can't handle this and flies to Hawaii to surprise Lena, who is very surprised. Until everything comes to a head where the sex line thugs cause an accident where Lena gets hurt. Barry leaves her at the hospital to drive all the way to Utah to threaten, I should mention he figured out where they're located, to threaten Philip Seymour Hoffman, essentially really having nothing left to lose except for Lena. They decide to call it That's That. He then apologizes to Lena, who pretty much tells him, don't ever abandon me again. And he promises he won't. And that's Punch Drug Love. I yada-yada'd over a lot, but you're right with what you're saying. I really see why this movie is so divisive, because I didn't know how to feel about Barry. I'm like, Paul is clearly trying to, he wants us to care about Barry. And I do empathize with the fact that he's been emotionally abused by his sisters, seemingly probably his entire childhood, and now into his adulthood. And so it sucks that his only form to feel anything is to lash out in rage. But then Barry just makes so many decisions that I'm just like, I don't know if I really agree with that. You know, like, but maybe that's in PTA's head. Maybe that's what he was thinking of, like, people will sympathize with him. And not to say that Adam didn't crush it. You know, of course, we've already done Uncut Gems. I think Adam, I've said this before to people, I'm pretty sure I've said this on the show, that when given the correct material, people can get a really good performance out of Adam. And I think he's seen as sort of like the goofy guy, and he is a goofy guy, but he did a fantastic job in this film.
Mm-hmm.
And in any of his dramatic roles, I think he's done an amazing job. And I think someone like Paul Thomas Anderson can get a really good performance out of him. I don't know what Paul was wanting us to feel about Barry, because yeah.
Well, I mean, that's how I felt. I wasn't sure what to make of his character at all, and then I did some research, and it's all about Barry trying to put himself out there, trying to let himself be vulnerable, and sort of get out of his own way. Like, there are shots in the film that if you see it in that lens, where he is like in his warehouse, for instance, and as soon as he steps out of the warehouse and into the alleyway, um, or onto the street, his demeanor changes, his attitude changes, his performance changes. He is skittish, he's shy, he's withdrawn, he's guarded, because he's out of his element. He's out of where he's comfortable, where he's safe.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of shots where he retreats into where he feels the safest. Um, Even like when he's walking into one of his sister's house, God knows which one, and he has to sort of like practice walking into the house, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because he is so self-conscious and he's so unsure of himself, and all of that has to do with his siblings. His sisters control every aspect of him. Um they always ask him, why he's doing a certain thing, or it's so much criticizing that they're doing, to where it's like he can't just like he's always having to second guess himself because he's always under a microscope. It seems like that's how he lived, right?
Mm-hmm.
and and that of course comes through when you think about it that way. And
Right.
his sort of like, anytime anyone points out something about him, or um or tells them like, oh, I think this about you, or um whatever, right, he goes into a rage.
Mm-hmm.
He can't handle it because he feels like he's unable to show someone himself before they do, before they figure it out, or before they define him, before he can define himself.
Mm-hmm.
The entire subplot of the sex line, I don't understand. I get that it's conflict. I get that it's a hurdle. I get that it's sort of it's it is a quirky sort of obstacle that he needs to overcome, and something um that puts his relationship with Lena in jeopardy. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But is it, like, if he, I don't know. Like,
You know, well, and like the thing I don't understand about the sex line subplot is, they're extorting these people that call them, you know, but it's almost like they're punishing them for calling a sex line, like this is what you get for being a pervert.
well, and a lot of times, and that's why she asked him while they're on the phone if he's married, has a girlfriend, because they can use that as leverage. Like, well, I have all your personal information. I, will tell your girlfriend that you called the sex line, and then your relationship's over, right? I mean, that's how they can do it. But he lied, right? He said he had a
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend. They thought they could use that as leverage, and they can't. And so, that sort of like throws a wrench in their plan, because he was again so self-conscious that he just lied, you know,
Yeah.
when it didn't really matter. And that sort of throws everything into a tizzy, and where he is he is now an obstacle for them, because they're like, well, shit, like, what else can we do now? You know what I mean? So then they had to go through all these other scenarios and links to try to get him to pay out. um the other thing that I don't understand, and that, like, Roger Ebert is no help with this movie, by the way, because all he talked about was how good Adam Sandler was, because of how much he hated Adam Sandler movies up until that point. Because, like, he disliked Adam Sandler movies so much that when he saw this one, he goes, "Holy shit!" You know, I'm gonna write
Uh-huh.
my entire article on this. So
So what you're saying is it was real. It was essentially this was Adam's Truman Show.
Pretty much. I mean, he couldn't believe it. He was like, "This is so good," and I completely understand. But um, the other subplot that I don't understand is the goddamn healthy choice airline miles. Like, because
yeah, I forgot to mention that.
I understand. Listen, I understand that it's a way that he is sort of planning for the future. Like, he sees this this promotion, but he sees it as someone who owns a business would see it, and sees that there's a flaw in their system and that you can really exploit this promotion, and if you do it right, and get millions of miles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I just don't, because he didn't even use it to get to Hawaii,
That's right.
So,
yeah, because it was going to take 6 to 8 weeks.
That's right.
Before the points could be redeemed. I will say, I wish we had some resolution with that. I wanted to know if it worked or not. I was really, did it work? And then the fucking credits rolled, and I was like,
God damn it. Yeah, I have no idea.
Because we PTA gives us resolution for everything, really. His relationship with Lena wasn't honestly that affected. He ends the harassment from the sex line people, but we don't get any resolution with that. And I wanted resolution with that.
You know what? I think I got it.
Okay.
While you were talking, I think I figured it out. Okay, let me know if this makes sense.
Okay.
So when he's at work and he is getting a phone call from each of his sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious, because there's so fucking many of them.
Yeah.
And then the sister that I recognized, Marilyn Roshkub,
Elizabeth.
Yeah. When Elizabeth shows up, he makes an excuse, right? And it's super lame, right? I forgot what it was, but it was like, I have to go do this thing, and
he has to go renew his gym membership.
Right, that takes 10 minutes, right? So that's obviously, he's making excuses so he doesn't have to put himself out there. He doesn't have to be vulnerable. He doesn't have to be social. And I think that the Healthy Choice airline miles is his attempt to do something out of his comfort zone, but do it in a way that it's not immediate, right? Like, it builds up to it. So he is thinking about getting all these airline miles so he can travel all over the place, even though he's terrified to travel all over the place. And I think it's sort of like this way of making progress while also a built-in excuse of, well, I can't because I'm not done. Like, I haven't, like, I'm working on myself. I'm doing this thing. I'm getting out of my comfort zone, but I'm doing it through this thing that's going to take a while. So it's like, it's like I said, a built-in excuse for not just doing it, which is when he just says, fuck it, I'll just go to Hawaii, is a big deal, because he really does love Lena. And he's willing to put himself out there, and he's willing to be vulnerable. He's willing to get out of his comfort zone and have someone, and be with someone that is immediate, that there's no excuse. Like, he didn't need to make one. He just went. Like, he could have used that as an excuse. And I think that's the point. That he could have used those 6 to 8 weeks to not go to Hawaii. But he didn't.
I like that because when he decides to just go, that's when we kind of notice he's sort of standing up for himself. He calls Elizabeth and he's like, "Hey, what's her number? She left her pocketbook. I just want to give her a call and make sure she's not worried about it." Elizabeth's doing like, "Well, why do you need to do that? That's a lie." And he finally goes, "Just give me the fucking number. I'm asking you for it.
Yeah.
Give me her fucking number. And he stands up to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And it seemingly works because he's able to call her.
Yeah.
And then, them having this, I'm assuming, amazing weekend, I think gives him the confidence when he comes back to confront the the does Philip Seymour Hoffman's character even have a name?
That's a great question. Let's find out together.
Is he just like Mattress Man or something?
Yeah,
because that's what he calls him. He just calls him Mattress Man.
It's Dean Trumbull.
Dean. When the fuck did they call him Dean Trumbull
or Trumbull? I don't know. Never probably. Robert Smigel is Walter the dentist. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
So, yeah. But yeah, no, I like what you're saying, is that because that's the point. I really like that, because you're right. He could have used the 6 to 8 weeks as an excuse. Yes, he was desperate to get out of California to kind of evade the fuck. I had the word. I said it earlier, and now it's not coming back to me. The
goons,
the enforcers,
right?
Yeah, the goons. But he could have been like, well, 6 to 8 weeks, But he decides no. So I like that, because that's also, again, and we only have 30 minutes left in the movie at that point.
Yeah.
That's when he finally decides to start kind of standing up for himself. I like that. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try another one. Okay. I don't understand the little piano.
Me neither. And
because
as well, and as the movie repeatedly tells us, it's not a piano.
It's not.
It's a, hang on, I had it.
Is it a harpsichord?
I had it set. It is a it's a pump organ, essentially.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
Well,
it's significant. Because
he goes back for it after he threatens Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
And he brings it to Lena.
By the way, so when he's on the phone with the airline miles guy, with the Healthy Choice guy or whoever, and he punches the wall, he later, soon after, you see his hand on the pump organ, and the cuts spell love on his.
I was gonna say that looks like it said love.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the problem I have with Barry Egan, is the way Sandler is choosing to perform his outbursts. Like, I understand that when he's on the phone with Elizabeth in Hawaii, that he is angry with her and he's so fed up with the controlling, with the critiquing, with the nitpicking and all that. But it seemed so... I like when he, like, it seemed so dangerously unhinged, right? When he's yelling at her, that it's not, it didn't play as he's sticking up for himself. It plays like he's having a mental breakdown,
I mean, he does say, "I'll fucking kill you."
Yeah, and listen, I get that that's like a specific style of comedy that, like, if I had watched it with that mindset, that's hilarious, Like, because if Tim Robinson had done that, I would think that's fucking hilarious. You know what I mean?
Right.
But somehow in this movie, like, him destroying the bathroom at that restaurant isn't some, like, quirky, like, some whatever. Like, I don't know. It's not a characteristic that I think is sort of like, oh well, I get it. You know,
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
it's like such violent aggression, and like it's, to me it doesn't play like anything endearing, you know?
Yeah. Let me throw you this
All right.
to go along with that. After I finished the movie last night, I quickly realized that Lena and Barry, maybe this is just my interpretation, maybe this isn't anything, but this is definitely how I felt. They are way too codependent for one another. Like,
Sure.
I get it. Like, I reread the back of my Criterion, and it says like, it's you know Paul Thomas Anderson doing like a Jacques Tati of these love stories, and like, and I get that, even though I haven't seen a Jacques Tati film yet. It's on my wish list. I felt like they were way too codependent.
Mhm.
They fall in love way too quickly.
Yeah.
Barry's incredibly unhinged, so I do agree with that as well. And Lena is almost more like she's starved for companionship,
Let me
which I guess.
let me tell you why you're struggling. I don't know anything about her. You know what I mean?
True. The most we get is when Barry's like, "Do you have a boyfriend? When was the last time you had a boyfriend? 6 months? Well, were you ever married? Oh, you were married once." So that's the most we get about Lena, and again, I'm sure there's a point to that as well.
Yeah, I mean,
And like,
it's definitely not like he didn't, like he can't write, characters, because Magnolia is fucking 3 hours long. You know what I mean?
yeah, dude,
And I know
dude,
everything about those people.
yeah,
So the
for
fact
sure.
that she's sort of like hazy with details is, I'm sure, important. It makes her seem
I
um
think it makes, because we're seeing this film through Barry's eyes. I
right.
think it makes her more mysterious to Barry,
Sure.
and more captivating,
Mhm.
which I think is Paul Thomas Anderson's way of explaining why Barry falls head over heels for her.
Yeah.
But I personally, looking at this from a almost 20-year-old lens, they are way too codependent. They should not be together at all.
Yeah.
Because you're right, Barry completely unhinged. Where, yes, I do agree. Yes, I empathize with the emotional abuse that he's received all his life.
Mhm.
Doesn't excuse the fact that he did technically tell his sister, "I'll fucking kill you."
Well,
Um,
and I mean that's, again, it's the way he said it. Like
yeah,
it's not that he
it,
said it. I don't care about that. It's the way he said it. He's like
no, yeah.
he's so
It's
serious.
not. Yeah, it's not like, to use Happy Gilmore again. It's not like his rage fits in Happy Gilmore. That it's very obvious that is played for comedy.
Yeah.
Because you're right. He said it very seriously,
Well,
almost
even
like,
destroying the bathroom, it's like
yeah,
it's almost like he is Happy Gilmore, because Happy Gilmore is like super strong,
yeah,
for some reason. And so is Barry Egan. Barry Egan is really strong. He fucking punched the door off of that stall. I mean, that's crazy.
Also, I was wrong. The movie is over 20 years old.
Yes, it is.
Um, um, hang on, I wanted to check this real
By the way,
quick.
Roger Ebert loved this movie. I mean, it's not just the performance. He gave it 3.5 out of 4. So that's pretty high.
Really?
Yeah. But I think he was
Man.
just so enamored with Sandler's performance that, that's why he rated it so high.
I have a theory.
Okay.
I have a theory. Okay. About the rage element
Sure.
to Barry's character.
I love it. Come on.
You may or may hate this. I don't know. But I have a theory. Because I was like, in the movie I'm about to talk about, I've only seen once in my life. I have had this much of an inkling of maybe rewatching it. But the rage fits, as we're talking about it, made me think that PTA was trying to maybe play it up as like a me, myself, and Irene kind of situation.
Interesting. Okay.
Because if anyone remembers, Jim Carrey has this split personality that's very violent. And there would always be sort of like he does something really violent and then he comes back to his like kind of subdued character and everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's, again, it's just a theory. Me, Myself, and Irene did come out 2 years before. So
now, whether it's a direct homage, I'm sure is not the case, but I understand
more so. Yeah, more so what I was just saying is that maybe PTA saw that as sort of like a jumping off point. Like maybe we could ramp up the absurdist part of this, But that's just
maybe,
because let's be real. The Farley brothers also have lost the sauce. They're not as funny as they used to be. But it's just a theory, because you're right. I think the funniest moment where Barry rages out is when he fucking kicks the sliding glass doors. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
Because that whole part, they're like, yeah, you threw a hammer at the sliding glass door. Yeah, because we were calling you gay boy. Like, do you remember that? And then you just hear like a smash and the camera cuts to Barry just kicking the shit out of those doors. That was funny. But the bathroom, I was like, dear God.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know. I'm just probably being too sensitive about it, but like I don't know, it didn't work for me. But the part that did make me laugh was the only obvious joke in the whole movie, which is the unbreakable handle of the plunger.
Oh my God.
And
we finally have an unbreakable hammer or handle. So it's one of the old ones. and what I love is it's the obvious joke because it's clearly not the old one. But he's got to quickly like.
But it's so funny that he just smashed.
And I think it is meant to be an old one because if you look in the background when Elizabeth is there, you can see Luis Guzman like doing it and nothing's happening.
Oh, that's so interesting. I didn't even catch that.
But I did rewind it just a smidge, and it doesn't look like he's going all the way down with it.
Well,
but you
he's
see
just
him
in
like
the background.
Yeah. But that got me.
That's fine. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I do have a lot of questions about the movie. I will say though, I loved seeing Adam actually getting to act opposite Philip Seymour Hoffman. Because if we haven't said it on the show enough, Philip will forever be missed. And I love when he is paired with I mean this in a positive way, an unconventional actor, meaning someone you wouldn't see him paired up with, like Adam Sandler. And I think that scene where Barry threatens him is so good, because Adam is playing Barry at that moment as like, I've got nothing left to lose.
Yeah.
Like, tell me we're done and I'll leave. If not, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And what was his fucking name again? Dean something?
Dean, yes, Dean something. I don't remember.
Yeah. And Philip can obviously tell, like, all right, this guy is being serious. If I don't drop this, I'm about to get my ass kicked.
Right.
And I really love that, Granted, I love that he tries to get in one more jab. Like, yeah, and get the fuck out of my store, pervert. What did I just say? And then that's that. And he walks away, which I think that was an obvious joke as well, because he's still carrying the phone.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I really like that. I was also, I've seen the scene where Philip's like, shut up, like as a meme.
Yeah.
And I've always tried to figure out where that's from. I'm like, oh, well, now I know where it's from. Yeah. But I was really, I was like, man, I really hope they actually get to do a scene together, Um, and I really like that, man. Dude,
What did
Philip
you?
Seymour Hoffman, man.
I know Philip Seymour Hoffman's the greatest, right?
Yeah.
Um. Okay, what did you think about the colored interludes?
I really like that.
Yeah,
I thought
those
that was
are really cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
I I wanted to know more. I was like, there's got to be a reason to this, you know?
Well, I think the pink and blue are supposed to be them, right? It's supposed to be Lena and Barry, um,
Mm-hmm.
because he's always wearing blue and she's in pink most of the time, I think, or red. Um,
Yeah. Excuse me.
so I like that. The lens flares were kind of cool. It was interesting because they happen quite a bit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the sort of blue lens flare. Um, Sort of a cool stylistic choice. I'm not sure, like, if I'm supposed to derive any sort of significance or meaning from the interludes of just color on screen. Besides, like, maybe they're being represented in color, but it's not the only color. So you know what I mean? Like, there's oranges
Mm-hmm.
and yellows and whatever in there too. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool. Um,
Agreed. Yeah, for sure. Um, you know what's a part of the movie that still has me struggling? It is a lot of the surreal elements, like the car crash at the beginning of the
sure.
film. Um,
I think that's supposed to represent sort of the fear of leaving your safe space, right? Because
okay.
he's leaving the garage, the warehouse, and it seems like he doesn't do that very often. And you know, when he does, when he steps out and you know wants to just take a moment to be in somewhere that isn't familiar or um, isn't his normal routine, this something terrible happens, right?
Right.
I think
Okay.
that's sort of like um, the symbolism with the car crash because it doesn't come up again. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Even though like we see the glass like in the street for a couple of frames as well.
mhm.
But yeah, yeah. Yeah, the surreal parts of it, I just, you know, us having done enough Lynch films, like surrealism doesn't bug me at all, but like when it's used in certain ways, like I want to know more,
Sure.
but I
Well, I mean, I
know
wouldn't even
we
consider
probably
it
won't get it.
surrealism. I would just consider it like just a visual representation of his anxieties of
Mm-hmm.
putting himself out there, of being vulnerable. Um, and it seems to have been a real world car crash because again, like you said, we see the glass on the ground. So, um, I just think it
Yeah.
was just this again like a representation of him, you know, um, and being vulnerable and allowing yourself um to be seen is scary, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like a car crash.
Do you think maybe that's the symbolism that he was going for with the pump organ?
Maybe.
Or that maybe that's it because he seems to only really play it when he's feeling kind of like vulnerable and
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching for that.
I don't know. Maybe, but I don't think so. Because it is
Yeah.
significant. I just don't. You know what I mean? I just don't know.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, buddy, are you ready to wrap up?
Sure, it's a short one.
Oh, no, I mean, not really. I mean,
Nah, that would be
we
fine.
still, yeah. I mean, I really don't have much to add.
I
I
don't
mean,
either. Um, but you know, like I might watch it again.
I I might, yeah, for sure. I might give it one more rewatch. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to get rid of it. There's, I do have a rule. If I buy it, it's on the shelf. Um, you know, I did get rid of some movies when we moved. But that's how I felt about the theatrical cut of Justice League. I bought it. It's on the shelf.
That's crazy.
It stays.
Get rid of it.
Well, it's gone now.
Oh.
But especially when it comes to my Criterions, no. Like,
right. Criterions are
yeah. But yeah, maybe I'll rewatch it. I didn't hate it.
No.
I just have more questions.
Sure.
And I want to know if he got those fucking points or not, man. You know, like 6 to 8 weeks is crazy.
That's a long time.
Especially the movie makes us realize that like nowhere does their terms and conditions say it would take 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, the movie makes the audience know like, hey, like, that wasn't there. You know, I really want to know if he got those million points or not.
Does Paul Thomas Anderson have an Instagram? We could just message him on Instagram.
Like, hey, buddy. Look, we like the movie. Did he get the points?
Yeah, we have.
Could you imagine if he like responded? It was all like,
what?
Hey guys.
Okay. What if he was like, he messaged back. He goes, actually, Barry suffered a massive coronary and died 30 minutes after Lena comes and hugs him from the back at the end of the movie. It's like, Jesus Christ. So no, he never got those airline miles.
I was gonna do the meme of like, hey guys, it's me, Paul Thomas Anderson. Like, could you send me $1,500 so I can make my next movie? Like, Leonardo DiCaprio's in it. Hey, prove it's you. It sends a picture like, hey man, it's Leo, what are you doing?
He's like, I need $500 in iTunes gift cards. I was like, all right, man. Yeah, PTA needs them.
Shit, all right. Yeah. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
You know, again, Roger Ebert was right, man. Adam's performance is fantastic. I probably will give it one more rewatch to maybe understand it, because when I first saw it, I wasn't understanding the subplot of the sex line. Now talking about it, I think that's the whole goal, is that they just want to exploit people. That's the whole point.
Yeah, it's just an unusual obstacle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, maybe Ashley saw a couple scenes and she was like, "What's happening?" And I'm like, "Do you have 45 minutes for me to explain to you what's happening?" Because she was coming in at random times. I'm like, "Yeah, babe, just don't worry about it."
Yeah, it's fine.
With that being said, buddy, what are we talking about next week? Which I already know, and I'm super excited for.
I'm also super excited about it. So, thank God for my root canal, because it pushed us back to where my pick falls on Halloween week. So we're doing our annual spooktacular.
Yeah.
And I guess I just like doing double features, because I picked Evil Dead 1 and 2 the last time I did this. And this time we're doing another double feature, this time with absolute classics. We are hell yeah. We are doing James Whale's 1930s films, Frankenstein from 1931 and Bride of Frankenstein from 1935. So I'm excited.
The namesake of my tattoo, which hopefully people saw that, because the posters are probably up right now. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm gonna out myself real quick as a fake fan. I have a profound love for the original Universal monster movies. I've not seen a single one, but I do have this sort of profound love for them. I don't know where it comes from, because I haven't seen them. The only one I've really seen, it wasn't even technically done by Universal. It was the original silent film of Phantom of the Opera.
Oh yeah.
We'll launch it. But it wasn't. Yeah, but that was before Universal even was a thing. And I don't know why I have this affinity for them and this love for them, and I haven't seen one. But when you told me that, I was like, dude, was like, dude, let's fucking go, man.
There's a comfort to them.
Go.
For me, anyway. I like how they feel. I like the atmosphere of these films. I think that they're so easy to watch, and they're so much fun to watch. I mean, they're not boring. You know, Dracula is so good. I would say my favorites are Frankenstein, Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula. The ones I haven't seen Creature from the Black Lagoon yet, and I haven't seen the remake of Phantom of the Opera that they did around that same time, in the 30s.
Yeah, which is on my my second set.
Is it?
That was another reason why I was really excited, because it gave me an excuse to buy that 4K set. Because when we were in Austin back in July, Waterloo, shout out to Waterloo,
Yeah, shout out,
had Volume 2, which has Bride of Frankenstein, Creature of the Black Lagoon, The Mummy, and Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
And even though I was excited for that, I really wanted the first set, which has Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula, and
Invisible Man.
Invisible Man. Yeah. But you know, it's fine. It's coming in. And I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
I have my Bride of Frankenstein tattoo. And I remember when I got it, I did some research about it, because I was like, you know, it's interesting that this shop would do like a Bride of Frankenstein flash. Granted, I'm sure they just chose it because it's the Bride of Frankenstein. But in my research, I did read that Bride of Frankenstein is widely regarded as one of the best sequels ever made.
It's so good. And when you see it, there is a specific technique that they're going to use, and it's going to blow your mind. Like, you're going to be like, I can't, how did they do that? So I'm excited to talk about that.
Yeah,
because these movies are fucking great. Are they faithful to the source material? No, but that doesn't matter. You know, like,
and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but you know, these films also kind of spawned off their own sort of lore and mythology as well. You know, that, you know, it's almost like the source material and the film have gone hand in hand for years, you know?
Yeah, because, like, I mean, obviously, like, to do the source material justice, I mean, I don't know. It would have been a different movie for sure. Like, this movie is completely different from the book. I mean, so don't, you know, if you've read the book, I haven't, but if you have read the book, don't expect that.
Well, especially The Bride of Frankenstein, that one is completely original.
Yeah, that's...
Mary Shelley never wrote a sequel.
Right.
But I guess, you know, we'll have to watch Guillermo's version,
which is
coming out soon.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. It's going to be great.
It's so fucking good, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, man, I'm excited. You told me that we were going to do this, and dude, I audibly gasped at work, and everyone was like, what? I'm so, like, you have no idea. I'm so excited right now. Yeah, man, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, man. All right, everyone. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode on Punch Drunk Love, and we will see you next week for our annual spooktacular for Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein.